Hello, so I'm going to make a very quick video discussing one particular concern or problem that was brought to my attention through a call with a prospective client. Now, that particular person was in a situation much like what you may be in, where they were aware of a particular route towards getting into the industry as a commercial pilot, but not necessarily sure of whether that was the correct route to go down or whether it would get them to where they wanted to be, which was in the airline world. Now, before I go into the story and what happened to that particular prospect, my background is that I am a commercial pilot, I'm an airline pilot. I've been an airline pilot for the past 3 years, and now I'm in a position where I can offer that expertise and that guidance back to people like yourselves who are looking at starting in the industry, but not necessarily able to because they don't have the right clarity or guidance towards getting to that particular position. That being said, where did this problem arise from? Now, this particular prospect came onto the call with me with an idea of where they wanted to get to in terms of their career and their prospective idea of becoming an airline pilot. He had a very relatively good understanding of what the licenses he'd need to require, where he'd need to go to get these licenses, what he'd need in order to then apply for the airlines. And his understanding, as far as I was aware, was quite in-depth and detailed. So as I was going through the discussion with him, I started prodding on little questions and prodding on little areas within his plan that I wanted to make sure and get clarity on and ensure that he was getting the right information and going about his career in the right way. His plan had been formulated over a long time. It took him about 2 years to come up with this particular plan. He had started thinking about it when he was about 16 years old. He came to me at 18 years old and was discussing this potential pathway that he had forged out by himself. So 2 years of intense research and discovery, he found a particular flight school in Europe. Now, this is something that you guys need to be very careful of and not make this mistake that this particular client did or was about to make. Luckily, he reached out to me, he sought out guidance and found the right information which protected him massively, which I'll go into a bit more detail about later on. However, he found this particular flight school in Europe. Now, that flight school within itself had nothing wrong with it, and in terms of when he was describing it to me, I thought this is fantastic. They were offering a very cheap price for their training, and so I thought, well, that's a no-brainer. Why would you not take that option? If they're offering a cheap price with guarantee of the licenses that you need, then it's the right course of choice for most people. But I knew that there was going to be a caveat to it. So I started delving deeper within my questioning as to what exactly it was that they were offering. When this client was explaining to me about what the prospective flight school was going to offer, they were going to offer this prospective client a EASA license, which is a European license to fly aeroplanes. Now, looking at it from the outside in, you're probably not familiar with the licensing, not familiar with the authorities. And now that Brexit has kind of divided the UK and Europe into two separate entities, this is actually a very important element, an important area to understand as a prospective pilot or someone that's aspiring to become a pilot, especially if you're from the UK. What his situation was that they were going to be allocating him a European license to fly aircraft. And I'm going to explain this in the most simplest form I can possibly describe it, because I know that, and I'm aware that a lot of my audience is not necessarily familiar with these terms. So they were pushing him towards getting a European license, whilst he had his only right to work and his only citizenship was the UK. So he was getting a European license whilst being solely and inclusively a UK citizen, which means when he gets his European license, there are limited job availabilities for him as a commercial pilot. His only real pathway into the industry would be through an airline like Ryanair, who operate European registered aircraft in the UK territory. So his array of airline options was reduced massively down to a handful of airlines that would offer this particular package to UK citizens with a European license. His other option, and this is something that he didn't actually question or consider when he was actually about to sign on that dotted line of £70,000 for flight training, and then you're going to get this license. He was literally seconds away from signing it, because he was in close contact with the recruiters, he was in close contact with the founder of the flight school, and they were all feeding him with a lot of information, which to some degree can be incredibly overwhelming for someone that's not familiar with the industry and doesn't necessarily know what all these terms even mean. So when they were throwing this information at him, naturally he was becoming a bit more confused, but his overlying question was, am I going to get the license to fly an aircraft? If it's a yes, then I'll sign up. So he was about to sign onto that dotted line, and luckily I intercepted him by him booking in a call to clarify whether or not he was doing the right thing. Well, I told him to start asking the recruiters and the flight school particular set of questions. Now, these particular set of questions solely and predominantly revolved around the license issuance. So he was going to be getting a European license, and I was telling him that in his particular instance, where he's a UK citizen, surely it would be better for him to get a UK license. Now, this might seem very straightforward and basic information for some people, but for a lot of guys out there who aren't familiar with how all these licenses work, and it's just a complete blur of all these things merged together, and I don't really know what's going on with this particular license and that particular license. And I've been there, so I know exactly how it feels. So despite some people saying that this might be very simple information, how do you not know this? I didn't know it when I was first starting out. And so I had to learn it over time, and I had to learn it through a lot of experience within myself. But that being said, he was in a particular situation where he was about to sign that dotted line, and I asked him to ask the flight school, well, what license am I going to get at the end, and what airlines am I going to be able to apply for at the end of my training? They explained what I told him, which was there's going to be a handful of airlines that will take you under a European license with a UK right to work. So there are a minuscule amount of airlines that will do that. However, they negotiated with him in saying, well, if you do want to get other airlines involved and widen your options and get a UK license, you can get a UK license by transferring the European license to a UK license. And they left it at that. So they said you can transfer it over and it will still work out cheaper. You know, our course is the cheapest in the whole of Europe. So doing it with us, getting a European license, then transferring it to a UK license, all together will be a lot cheaper. Now, obviously, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I know exactly what that means in terms of transferring a license. And it's a very long and convoluted process, which can take a lot of months, not necessarily hours. And if, for example, your training is delayed and everything's delayed, then that could actually extend into years potentially if you've not done it correctly. So I told this particular prospect, go and speak to that flight school and guarantee that they will help you to do that transfer if for whatever reason you need to do that transfer. And naturally, within their terms and conditions, they don't help with those things. I knew they wouldn't help with that. I asked him to get that information to clarify for himself that he was going to have to do it by himself. So yeah, naturally they came back and said, no, we don't help you with the license conversion, but you know, there's resources out there that will help you. When I heard that response, I instantly knew this is going to be a pathway that's going to cost you a lot more money than you realize, as well as a lot more effort than you realize. And by the end of it, you're £70,000 deep in debt. And then you're having to tackle this other challenge of transferring your license over, and not only transferring your license over in terms of getting the documentation and everything else in order, but you're also going to have to do your theory exams again under a UK authority. A UK ATPL is completely different as far as legality is concerned. So they would want you to do the full theory exams, full 14 theory exams again, because it's a different curriculum in the UK than it is in Europe. On paper it is anyway. Naturally they're very, very similar. However, legally they have to separate the two. So he was going to have to, one, get information as to how a European license is going to transfer to a UK license. Two, do all of his ATPL exams, which I know, and most pilots out there know, you would never want to do those again, and you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. And 3, he's going to end up having to pay more to do that transfer. He's going to have to end up to paying more to get the license conversion, get the theory exams, and pay for the theory exams. Those are all elements that he's not considering at this stage, because they're promising him that end goal of, you'll get a European license, which is what you want, surely. Is that not what you want? So they've told him that this is what you're going to get, as a very overview and bird's eye view kind of summary of how his process is going to go. But when you go into the finer details, which is what I do as an individual who's within the industry, you can see that there's cracks here and there, and that's not what you want when you're investing £70,000 into your flight training. So ultimately, what I encouraged and advised the prospect to do was to not sign on that dotted line and not invest that £70,000 into that flight school. So I actually referred him to a different flight school, and I don't have any affiliations with any flight school in the UK or any companies in the UK. This is from me as someone that's been through the journey that he's about to go through, and trying to offer my expertise and experience and help him navigate this really convoluted and confusing world of becoming a commercial pilot. So I advised him and I steered him clear of it. Now he's in the mindset and has a better understanding of what he actually needs to become a commercial pilot, because what he originally thought he needed was not what he needed in the end. And it took him 2 years to come up with that plan of, this is how I'm going to do it. 2 years wasted, when all he had to do was reach out to someone that has been through it and that knows what's going on, that could have suppressed and reduced that time into what was a 1 hour call that we had. Now, that being said, if you're in a similar situation to that, where you're considering starting flight school and you're not sure whether your flight school is going to be the right flight school, or you're in a particular situation where you don't even know what the right flight school is going to be, and all of these licenses are confusing, and you just want someone to make this a million times easier for yourself and bridge that gap of knowledge and understanding so that it's really clear and concise, and you know exactly what steps you need to take in order to become a commercial pilot. If you're in that position and you want some help, you don't even need to come to me. Find someone out there that's been through it, that's in the position that you want to be in, and has a similar background to yourself. Every single pilot's journey is different. Me, naturally, with my clients, I understand that, so I do my absolute best and utmost to make sure that their pathway is catered to them as an individual. And I know that most pilots out there, naturally, they're not going to invest that heavily into people's journeys. They will give and offer their own expertise and experience, which is absolutely great. But again, on a deeper level, and on a one-to-one basis, that's a bit of a different consideration to have. If you require that, that's something that I offer. However, it's not obligatory on any of you guys. If you want to do that, I'm available for that. But that being said, when you're considering your journey and you're considering putting an excessively substantial amount of money into flight training or into your career and your prospective future, don't put that money into a wasted resource. Put it into something that's going to actually get you to your end goal and actually get you to the result that you want. But what I would urge any of you, if you are considering doing it, reach out to anybody that's been through it, anyone that can offer you some guidance, because that will make your journey 1 million times easier, 1 million times smoother, and ultimately it will guarantee your success. I mean, if you think about it in terms of a doctor, it's like, would you go into medicine school just trying to get everything right with trial and error, and then getting all these cannulas wrong and injecting into the wrong places, but eventually finding the right place to inject your needle into? Or would you go and seek out advice from a teacher and say, where should I prick this needle into someone's body to ensure that this injection has been received in the right way? Would you do that with trial and error? Just think about it, because what this field is as well is a very, very highly responsible profession. You don't want to go in there blindly pointing your finger at a particular area and then just following that area. You want to make sure that you pinpoint the exact location and the exact starting points and the exact objectives along your journey to make sure that you get into the right field. Now, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I really hope that this story has acted as some kind of alarm bell and a caution for anyone that is considering starting and doesn't necessarily have full conviction in what they're doing, to just reach out to someone, again, not necessarily me, but someone that has been through it, that can offer you that guidance. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. If you could do me a massive favor, if you could just like this video and then subscribe to this channel, and if you go into the comment section, just write anything at all to boost the engagement, so that we can get as many people this information as possible, so that hopefully we can save their futures and save their potential journeys into the industry. And once again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll hopefully see you very soon.